Hello. Sorry, I'm late. Oh, look at my friends just arrived. Hello.
I didn't know you had gone live. Sorry about that. I was adjusting his audio settings, trying to get him in here. I'll bounce down and hide,
No, okay. You can,
or
or
I
you
can
can do
whatever you want.
whatever you want.
I'll be quiet unless you guys need something. I'll just sit down here. Run the
Yeah,
back of the house. Hello,
you're being
everybody.
not seen and not heard.
That's right.
Just kidding. Okay, let's see.
Charles, how do you sound, buddy? Forgiveness to the chat on audio settings. See if he's muted.
Yeah, if y'all can. Oh, yeah, if y'all can adjust that or whatever. So I'm not trying to be too
Well,
loud, but I'm barely talking over here.
you can. I can.
I hit auto. You might have to do it. It's not letting it actually affect my audio.
Um. Okay, give me about 10 minutes while I work on this real quick.
Well, you
Not even 10 minutes. I was just thinking out loud.
see. You can
Audio.
do it right here if you hit your
Okay,
mic settings.
I have echo cancellation. Okay, my microphone is literally. Wow, it is loud. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
turn that down.
Automatically adjust volume. We'll turn that down. How do I sound
There you
now?
go. That's better. What do you think, Fishy?
There we go.
I don't know.
Chat, does he sound all right for you guys?
Oh, all right.
We don't have a monitor function through StreamYard, so we'll have to do it on the fly a little bit, guys.
Well, I turned off the auto microphone
Yep,
stuff.
that's
What's wrong with
perfect.
you, Fish?
What?
I say, what's wrong with you, Fish? Girl,
Nothing's wrong
how
with
you
me.
gonna make me think this shit's at 3 a.m. And literally it's out of nowhere? You said 12 your time.
No, I don't know what I said. I don't know what I meant. We're here now. This is when it's happening. Love it or leave it. I don't care.
Zero says better. Thank you, Zero.
All right, so
Howdy,
everybody can
all
hear
in the
me
chat.
fine and all that?
Yep, you sound good, buddy.
Okay. Get to it.
Oh, then we lose him.
Of course.
Let's see if he's. Well, just a minute for technical difficulties' sake.
It's
Did you guys
fine.
make a presentation?
Huh?
You guys make a presentation?
You guys, as in me, yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, not. It's not like a all. I mean, kind of. I just did the slide.
Kind of like a visual outline.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Stay on track, you know.
This is not one that I know, so I know I've seen this guy's picture everywhere.
Apparently, it's in Florida, like right by where Charles is, so that's why he wanted to do it. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Mustang. Hi, Zero. Hi, Bo. Hi, Miranda. I like your bird. Very nice. Better picture. Loving it. And the Bear Jew and the Contrarian.
You can just call me the Bear Jew. Or Dan. Dan works too.
No, I don't even know who that is.
Well, hopefully he comes back.
I mean, I don't know why he left in the first place. He was fine.
Probably click something on accident. Well, what would you like to do? See if he comes back and give him a couple minutes and talk to the chat.
Well, I have a video to play like before we play
Perfect.
before we talk about Wade Wilson of this other female who is missing in like I think she went missing at like LAX or something. She's like from Hawaii and she had like a layover and then like she missed her connecting flight and then Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm not the best at it, but so she missed her connecting flight, and like then they said they saw her like leave with somebody, and so she's been missing for like 2 weeks, and her dad just like killed himself, which is really sad.
I heard
So I don't
that.
know.
I'd
But she's
seen
still
something
missing,
about her
so
missing.
they think maybe she
His
got
death
trafficked or
connected.
something.
Is his death connected to that, or they don't suspect
I
foul play
don't
from
know.
him?
I think maybe he's just like I don't know how you deal with like having your kid missing for 2 weeks, but like it did make me be like, but I don't think it is, but I don't know.
I was just
Obviously,
going
I
off
don't know.
a cold. Poor guy. Poor lady. What was her name?
I don't know what her name is, and now it won't even. Did I pick the wrong link? I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, all kinds of technical difficulties here.
Why? What's the issue? We're still getting
Oh, I thought I had the
snuff
link,
ones.
but maybe I picked like the wrong link. I'm not sure. But
Well,
I
hello,
see,
Brittany.
if I go to your clips, Bossy might have clipped like sent or blah blah blah. Yep,
Alrighty.
I just can't talk today.
That's okay. We'll get you back into the rhythm. I'm here for moral and technical support. I just can't pull up anything on the screen, or I would.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Is there an easier way to like share your screen? Do you know?
No, there's ways to pre-upload clips, like you save them, like we talked about, download them and save them. As long as you do them in MP4 format and you upload them into your like brand thing the day of or the day before, then you can have them in order and then just click them. But there's no, you can have Windows pre-pulled up and then you still have to share your screen and do it that way. Unless you start getting into OBS, and DB may know how to do that, but I don't. I haven't gotten to learn that yet.
I'm down with OPP. Yeah, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this is all working out well.
Where's Charles?
I don't know.
You text him and find out. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I'll just message him.
Oh, yes, it would.
Bo says hi, Jenny. Does it say booting?
Is it sharing my whole screen? That's cool.
You want to full screen it?
No, I didn't want to,
make
but
that full screen.
it's totally fine.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna watch this.
Is there audio?
Can you hear it
Can
or
you guys
no?
hear audio? I can't hear it, but it might be me glitching out. To ask the chat if they can hear the audio. Are you on Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay. No sound.
Great.
Make sure your audio permissions are set through StreamYard. And that video isn't muted.
Well, it's not muted, but.
Okay. That's what I was telling you guys about, coming on a little early to make sure we do iron some. There we go.
Yeah, audio?
That had audio. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Week as the search continues.
Now to a major new development in a missing persons investigation that we've been following for the last week. The father of a missing woman from Hawaii found dead near LAX from an apparent suicide. Our Tracy Leong has more details from police.
This is a tragic update to a story we've been covering for more than a week. As the search continues for the missing woman from Maui, LAPD confirmed that her father died after jumping from a building near LAX this morning, which is less than a mile from where we're standing.
We'll find you, Hannah. We'll find you. We'll bring you home.
Ryan Kobayashi making a promise to find his missing daughter, Hannah Kobayashi. He spoke to NBC4 on Thursday near the Crypto.com arena, while volunteers helped the family pass out flyers for 30-year-old Hannah.
Been missing for a week now.
We're just trying to get our boots on the ground to find out what happened.
Ryan had recently flown in from Hawaii to meet family and friends in Los Angeles to help with the search. Hannah landed at LAX from Maui on November 8th. She missed her connecting flight to New York and spent the weekend waiting for another flight. Her family says during that time, she left the airport to visit the Grove and walk around LA. According to her family, she was last seen on surveillance footage exiting the metro at the Pico station near the Crypto.com arena on November 11th. Hannah's family said they received strange messages from her that day, worried someone was trying to steal her identity and money, and that was the last time they heard from her, leading them to believe she may be in danger.
It's just a nightmare. Every parent's nightmare. You know, it's just crazy. We don't know where to start, where to begin, and it's like a grain of sand in the ocean. You know, it's anything. It could be anything possible.
Hannah's father desperate for answers, but telling NBC4 he was hopeful. On Sunday morning around 4, LAPD says Ryan died after jumping off the 7th floor of a parking garage on Century Boulevard near Vicksburg Avenue. He was 58 years old.
Hannah, please come home. Please just come home. You know, please give us a call. Reach out to anybody. You know.
LAPD has not said if there is any connection with the father's death and his daughter's disappearance. I spoke to them tonight to ask if there were any updates on Hannah. The only thing they could confirm was that she is still missing. Reporting from LAX, Tracy Ngong, NBC4 News.
So that's that. That's
Horrifying.
sad.
Does Charles have audio?
I
Muted.
don't know.
Do I have video or audio or whatever?
Yep.
All right, it's not too low or anything now.
Perfect.
No, when I told her to buy 3 minutes or whatever, I thought she was going to play the Wade Wilson videos.
Well, no, I wanted to play that video first.
Oh,
anyways.
no. Yeah,
But-
that's cool. I find that shit interesting too. So I agree with you.
I don't know
It was
why they
weird.
didn't. I don't know why they didn't play the video of the guy and her at the, because they said they had a video of her like leaving the turn station or something.
Yeah. Skella, this is a true crime stream. We're talking about Wade Stephen Wilson, the Cape Coral Strangler, aka the Deadpool Killer.
I may have plugged this on some different Discords and Twitter, so
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna try to be humorous at the same time, but if you're not a true crime fan, I don't know, it's up to you what you want to do. So
Just stay. We're fun. Chat, argue in the chat. It's a good time.
yeah, chat's awesome. I don't know, we have our moments of being funny, and we got Dan here. Dan's always humorous.
yes, just like the bone in your arm.
What about the bone in your ass?
Good
Arm,
Lord,
humorous.
is Carter here?
Mustang is Doug Carter.
That's a much younger Doug Carter, though, I think.
I don't think your penis is that big.
What?
Well, that's why Louise likes Doug Carter so much. He's hung like a horse, remember?
How? Okay. Anyways, continue on. Carl, why did you think we should cover Wade Wilson?
Why did I? Should we point out how much of an idiot I am that I missed this for so long? It wasn't even funny. Okay, I love to I actually watched this trial on the TV and stuff, quite a bit of it and all that. And once it ended, I didn't think too much about it. other than the whole fact that we're talking about the groupies and all that other stuff on the news. Then randomly I heard in a video about where one of the victims came from, and it's this weird city called Cape Coral. So I was like, wait, I didn't know that place. So I Googled it, and it turns out this piece of trash literally committed the crimes and basically is from the exact same city I am. So I'm like, hey, that's great, you know?
So you guys are
Even though I feel
basically
like a
cousins.
moron. Well, hopefully he's adopted
Understood.
one, so not mine. Well, I live in a cursed area. I mean, if I did, I could do a month's worth of lives or more on just the cases from my county alone. And a lot of them people would actually recognize.
Okay, so we're gonna get into Wade Wilson. They call him the Deadpool killer because Deadpool's like name is Wade Wilson, and so that's why he's got that name. He also has like another name for him, but I can't remember what it is. It's like something Strangler or something.
The Cape Coral Strangler, because
Yeah.
the city that the victims were taken from is a place called Cape Coral, which is right near in my city of Fort Myers, literally right next door.
So
We both, yeah. If I was in North Fort Myers right now and drove for like 2 seconds, I would be in Cape Coral. That's how close it
2
is to me.
seconds. That's how close. Boom.
No,
There.
when North Fort Myers ends, Cape Coral begins. I'm not even joking. There is no separation in the two cities. If you were to pull it up on the map, you'd see what I'm talking about.
Well, we're not going to do that because I don't have a map ready. So
Yeah, and I'm just way too lazy. And if I try to click away from StreamYard, it might end up going stupid on me, and then I'll have to reboot again, and that sucks.
okay. So
Alright.
the Deadpool killer was he's convicted. This case already happened.
Yes.
He already went to trial. He's convicted, and he got the death penalty. So no, a
He
spoiler
got
alert.
2
Yes.
death penalties, so if he happens to live from the first one, you're gonna get him again.
But he killed Christine Melton and Diane
Yep.
Ruiz in Cape Coral,
Yep.
Florida on
Yep.
October 7th of 2019.
But do we want to start there? Because there's a little bit of weirdness that happened before that in 2018.
That's
Or should
the
we
one
do
on
that
the,
after?
well, what happened earlier?
Well, okay, in 2018, there was a case here involving a man by the name of Mike Williams. One day he set out to go fishing, a very nice married man, apparently. And while he was on his boat, he never basically, at first they thought he fell off the boat. And they thought he drowned, and that's what his cause of death was first issued as. But the problem with that is the boat was actually supposed to have been running for that to happen, and the gas in the engine was completely full. So the boat would have just moved around in circles and all kinds of other stuff, the police said, if he was indeed on the boat and fell off, via that.
So how
So
does that
then-
connect to Wade Wilson? Tell me.
Apparently, I'm not sure which. Either he worked for Mike Williams or he worked for the man that is now in prison for life that murdered Mike Williams. And Mike Williams' wife is also in prison as well. But one of the witnesses at a nearby gas station in the area of where Mike Williams was found spotted a guy, and they did a sketch and all that other stuff, and it damn sure looked like, Wade Wilson. And the cops talked to him multiple times. He actually said that he could kill Williams for a fee. Basically, he was offering his own services to be a hitman, but it didn't check out. So the cops had insufficient evidence to charge him with anything.
I believe he also, before this crime happened, he was dating this girl, and he kidnapped her, and she took it to the police, and they they wouldn't charge him because they were dating, so they said they had insufficient evidence.
Well, I thought we were just talking about murders, but yeah, he has an extensive criminal record from well beyond,
Well, I
what
mean,
we're
it's
saying.
kind of directly related, because he
has convictions for sexual assault and quite a bit
gun
more.
charges.
Yeah, against abuse against children. Like I said, this dude is not any good at all. But yeah.
Okay. Now can we go back
Apparently,
to the slides?
yeah. Now we can go back to the. You want to do a video, or you want to just turn
It's
on
right
the
here.
times, or what?
You just have to be
Right.
quiet for a second.
What
Okay,
are they doing?
Wade Wilson was born on May 20th of 1994, and he had a troubled upbringing marked by a history of criminal behavior and substance abuse. He was adopted as a child and had several run-ins with the law prior to the murders, including charges for burglary and firearms. Look at how cute he was when he was just a little boy.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a Florida cracker.
I don't know about that.
Well, we all look the same, man. Don't you know?
I did not know that. No, I didn't.
Yeah. He's a bona fide Florida man, so that's what we look like, basically. But yeah.
Okay,
Early
so we're
signs
gonna
of innocence.
watch another video,
Uh-huh.
and this is just like an interview we had before his trial, where he's like, you'll see. Well, I'll just let you watch it instead of explaining it.
Hearing from an accused killer from behind bars. Wade Wilson is charged with killing 2 Cape Coral women. It's been nearly 4 years since Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz were murdered.
Over the last 6 months or so, Wilson sent letters to NBC2 making some wild accusations, from claiming his innocence to a conspiracy that reaches the depths of Lee County institutions. Did you kill Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We wasted no time getting straight to the point. For a man potentially facing death, Wade Wilson had a lot to say. His appearance today is much more sinister than some of his early court hearings when he was first charged with murder more than 3 years ago.
I'm not a monster. Yeah, I'm not a saint either by any means. I've made bad decisions in the past, of course.
He admits he met Christine Melton at a bar during a night of drinking and spent the night at her Cape Coral home. But he claims he left the next morning and she was alive.
Even your own father testified that you called him saying you met Melton at a bar, you spent the night together, you went back to her house, and you didn't know why, but you choked her, rolled her up in a carpet. How do you explain that?
Right. Well, those things that were said to my father, they were said by me. Of course, they were false too.
Cape Coral police say while driving Melton's car, Wilson picked up mother of 2, Diane Ruiz, choked her, and ran her over multiple times.
So, lovely guy there.
I can see why he gets all the chicks, man. He's such a very But yeah, apparently he met her and a friend at a nightclub called the Buddha, which is also in Fort Myers nearby.
Yeah, we're not ready for that yet. We're not ready for
We're not there yet. Well,
I'm sure. Even though they were giving it up right there.
Yeah.
So, I guess maybe we are there. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, you could have let me know all this stuff before live, but go ahead and go whatever route you want.
Okay, so we're going to watch this video, and Christian's friend is actually going to tell us about their night. And she kind of explains it pretty well. I know I'm really smooth at the screen transitions, but
yeah, I was waiting for a video to start, so I had muted myself.
yeah, that's fine. You're good. It just takes me longer than it should.
Yes, this is the Buddha in Fort Myers. And is the bar behind the big statue of the Buddha?
Yes, that's the main entrance to the bar.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move 7 into evidence.
Any objection? No. Be admitted.
Permission to publish?
You may.
Do you have any specific reason the two of you chose the Buddha on that night?
There was live music there that night, so we wanted to go see a band play.
When you got there, what was just sort of the general environment of the bar?
It wasn't overly crowded. There was, a decent amount of people there that night, dancing, drinking, nothing out of the ordinary from a typical bar.
Was there a band playing?
Yes.
See thousands on the new Revolutionary Swim Spa at a great sale Friday through Sunday. Deschutes County Fair and Expo Center.
Now, were you friendly and did you talk to other people that were there?
Yeah, we socialized quite a bit. There's a couple of different bars in the main bar, and we were down at one bar. We danced. We got drinks at other bars. We talked to the people that were there. Pretty standard going out night.
Now, obviously you're drinking and listening to music this entire time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had been drinking pretty heavily that night.
And is that why you chose to get an Uber?
Yes, yeah, we both knew we were going to be drinking, so we didn't want to be driving at all.
Now, while you were there, did someone approach you?
Yeah, towards the end of the night, as we were walking up to the upstairs bar, somebody jumped out in front of me, kind of just like to get my attention and said, "Hey, who's your friend?" And gestured towards Christine. And he seemed friendly and introduced himself, and I grabbed Christine and said, "Hey, this guy wants to meet you."
What was his demeanor?
Friendly, charming.
Is there any red flags that popped up when you were talking to him?
No.
How did he introduce himself to you?
At that point, he introduced himself as JR.
Do you see JR sitting in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please point to him and identify an article of clothing that he's wearing?
Right there in a bright blue suit.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Okay.
Now, has his appearance changed since the time that you met him?
Yes, he has a lot more tattoos on his face. He did not have any facial tattoos
May
the
I
night
approach
we
a
met
witness?
him.
You may.
At this time, the state showing has been marked as State's Exhibit 39. Could you take a look at State's Exhibit number 30?
Sorry, I just now looked at how long that video was, and it was really long. But basically, what happens is, like, her and her friend go to the Buddha, and like Wade Wilson is there with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend, and we'll hear from her later. But he like wants to go, I guess, like do some coke. I think he met like a guy that had coke, or he did, and he wanted to go do it. And so like he found this guy. Did the guy have the coke, or did he have it, Charles?
Pardon me? What did you say?
I said, did the guy that he met have the coke, or he did?
If I remember right, there is a man, I remember his last name is Shepard or whatever, but they left the club together, and my guess is to go get some cocaine from his house, because that's where their first stop was.
It was Kristen, her friend that was just testifying, and then Wade Wilson and this guy Justin that he met at the bar.
Yeah,
and
Justin, my bad.
He was there with his girlfriend. Wade Wilson was there with his girlfriend, and he took her car keys, and they took off in her Hellcat. So right there, he's a real winner. He's like at the bar with his girlfriend and leaves with another.
And it was also, it was a stick shift, and he did not know how to drive a stick shift. So
yeah, but that's why
Mr.
that guy Justin drove it to his house, and his mom was like sleeping on the couch, and they all went in his bedroom and like did a couple lines of coke, and then Wade Wilson and Kristen had sex while her friend and the other guy like just hung out. And then that Justin guy, his mom was like getting mad that he had his friends over, and so they like had to leave. And so like Wade Wilson tried to drive the Hellcat away, but like Charles said, it was a shift. He couldn't drive it.
Yep.
So they ended up calling an Uber and going to Kristen's house her friend and Wade Wilson all went there. And then, do you know what happened to her friend?
Her friend, at the moment in time, she just basically went to sleep or whatever. And I think he was supposed to sleep on the couch or something. I'm not sure if he was supposed to sleep in the bed with Milton at all. But Milton went to sleep. The friend went to sleep a little bit, I think, because she had to work early in the morning. And at one point, she had to actually leave. And she thought that her friend would be safe.
Oh, I think
So
she asked. I think she asked her. She was like, "Are you sure you're fine?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Go ahead."
Yeah.
So she went to work, and then I don't know if it was right after that or shortly after that, like for no reason whatsoever, he strangled her.
Yeah.
And then he tried wrapping her in a rug and putting her in the trunk of her car, but I don't think it would fit. So I think he just left her there. Did he?
I don't think he had access to her car if they took an Uber from
No, he took
his
her
house.
car to leave.
Oh, I know that, but you said never mind. But yeah, he tried to get rid of the body or whatever, and when it didn't work out, he once again tried to drive her car. When he was unable to again, I forget what he was, but he jacked somebody else's vehicle or something.
No, it was her car.
SUV.
It was Kristen's car. That's
He
whose
did
car
all
it
that
was.
in her car? That's nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe it, but
he took her car and her phone.
he even had a run-in with the police at one point. But first he went. He had already killed Milton. He was driving around or whatever, and I'm not exactly even sure why, to be honest, other than the fact that he just felt like doing it. He tried to pick up another lady. I remember her last name was Martinez.
No, it's Ruiz.
No, you're not. You're getting ahead of the game, bro.
No,
There was an attempted murder between Milton and Ruiz. There was a third woman that night.
That was his girlfriend. He also went to go see his girlfriend.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to say her last name was Martinez or whatever, and he tried to strangle that girl, but there was too many people around, so he had to take off. That's why she lived.
Yeah. And Zero says, "What kind of man doesn't know how to drive a stick shift?" Hashtag.
A very feminine one.
Yeah, really. I think you kind of have to do anything CVO wise.
No, it's going the opposite
I
way.
mean, wouldn't it be more homo for a guy to know how to drive a stick? But
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's impressive for a woman these days to know how to do it.
Yeah, that'd be
find
kind
that
of
very
hot,
often.
actually. You would think they were
I know
good
how
at
to pop
handling
the
a
clutch on
stick.
it.
Oh, you pop the clutch.
I bet you do. I bet
feel
you
like
smoked a couple clutches, dog.
Yeah. Smoked them, maybe lit the bitches on fire, shit. But yeah, as I said,
Why
there was
doesn't he ever have to say no homo anymore? I'm pretty sure he
because
does.
everybody
have to say it.
knows. Yeah, no, everybody knows Dan's gay. He's out of the closet now.
That's true.
Yeah, he just said so
Been a
earlier.
long
You
time.
know. Yeah, everybody knows Dan's gay.
Mhm.
Every man in his Discord is like partially gay, so it's literally a gay thing. Come on, guys.
Except for Zero and
No, Zero's gay.
And
I'll prove it after the live. Okay.
He's an ally.
Yeah, he was talking dirty to me just the other night. What are you talking about, bro?
Who is?
And he Zero also
Yes.
jerks off all the time while we talk. So
Who
I
does?
mean, if we want to get that,
Jeez.
Who does?
Zero.
Oh no, he does not.
wait, why are we having this conversation?
You're getting them all hot and bothered, all right? Come on.
Okay, back to being serious, you guys. Being serious content. Okay? So, then he actually gets stopped in the car, and I think I have a video of that too.
Yeah, but apparently since he had a license and whatnot, but yeah, play the video. Show it.
I don't know if he had a license, but I know he was driving a car. Doesn't mean that
In
he
the
had a
state of Florida, if you were pulled over without a license for any way, shape, or form, you are going to jail, and we'd have one less victim. I know, because I went to the same jail for the same charge. If he had gotten arrested for driving without a license.
We don't know anything. I don't know if I actually have that video. I guess I can find it later.
No, we don't play in Lee County. If you got no
Do
license,
they have the
even if you
body
just
cam
left it,
of him getting pulled over?
I thought
Yeah,
so.
well,
That's
he's
what
like
she
sitting in a
implied.
parking lot.
Like Brian Landry or whatever his name was.
Don't get me started on that case.
Or what's the other one? Coburger? Yeah. Footage of both of those guys being pulled over.
Yep. He got pulled over, I think, for making a illegal turn or some shit like that.
Following too close. Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Mhm. That's another one we need to get into soon enough, and we need to finish, or at least I need to finish Delphi. But yeah, there's probably like at least 2 lives worth of content still, not including the sentencing. But yeah, I remember hearing about that. I'm just buying time. Okay, video started, so I'll shut up.
Back in October of 2019, were you a police officer at that time?
Yes, I was.
And how long had you been working as a police officer at that time? Parking lot there of Joe's Crab Shack?
That is.
Where in relationship to Amila Spa is Joe's Crab Shack?
It's, if you're sitting in the parking lot of Joe's Crab Shack as it's depicted, and your car was backed into a spot, say next to the white car, right? If you look to your left across the street is where Amila's spot would be. How you doing? What's going on, man? You're waiting on your girlfriend? Oh, okay. That's no problem. No, I got a call. Somebody was sitting in their car and everything like that. Oh, okay. She's on her way now. Okay. Okay. L4 1 by 5. ETA? Copy on 1012. I'll explain it to you when my partner gets here, okay? Yeah. How about this morning? Say again? Yeah, I can do that, but I'm just waiting for my partner to get here. Yeah, absolutely. And here's what's going to happen. Is the car running? Shut the car off for me. It's off. I'm going to detain you until I figure out what exactly is going on. Wait, you don't have any trouble for me, okay? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have you step out of the car, and I'm going to detain you. Not arrest. Detain you right now, okay? And I can't have any problems. You understand me? All right. What's that? Like 5, I'm at Joe's Crab Shack in the parking lot. I will. I give you my word. No. I have to detain you. By our procedures, I have to detain you. Because of the battery this morning. There wasn't any battery? I will. No. Just relax. Let me see the keys to the car. Let me see the keys to the car. Keys. Keys. Wait, we're not gonna have any problems. Just give me the keys to the car. Wait. Just wait till my partner gets here. 4-1, getting you a couple more units. Don't go anywhere. Hey. Don't do it. He's in his car attempting to take off.
I don't think he's attempting to. I think he took off. That's not funny. It's actually not funny. But
Are they trying to say that that occurred between the victims, or that occurred after he got done killing?
I think it was after, but I'm not 100% sure because
Yeah.
like the blonde girl, Kristen, she was first, and then I know he went to his ex-girlfriend's work, and like that's who he tried to like get into the car, and like she did a plank or whatever, so he couldn't get her in, and then but there was like a bunch of people around, and he took off again after that, and then, I want to say that's when he picked up his other victim, so maybe it was before. I'm not sure.
Yeah, near a BMX park I used to live by or whatever, he saw a young lady who was 43 years old, named Diane Ruiz, and he asked her for directions and somehow was able to con her into the car with him. She immediately tried to get out because apparently she sensed something with you, I get. And he wasn't letting her get out of the car, and he tried to strangle her and thought she was dead. And after that, he basically shoved her outside of the car, but he was worried because he wasn't sure if she was dead or not. So basically, he decided to run over her head and upper torso multiple times to make sure of it. In his own words, he wanted to make her look like spaghetti. That way he knew she was dead.
He didn't he didn't want to make her like that. He said that's what she did look like. But that's sad. And like I don't know how you ever eat spaghetti after that, really.
Yeah. They had a testimony from the homicide detective or whatever. That was the same guy that has interviewed me a few times on the witness stand, and that's where I got the spaghetti thing from or whatever.
Was it mom's spaghetti?
Oh, don't stop it. It's not. Nope. Not doing that.
No, bro, it was al dente.
For real, guys. For real. So those are our victims. Like, both beautiful and like for no reason whatsoever he did this.
I was hoping you got some testimony from the friend and a couple of other people.
I do.
Wade Wilson's. Yeah, that's what I want to see. His court antics.
Oh, from him?
Really? Oh, I wanted that's what.
Yeah,
one
no,
of the videos
I
was hoping
do.
at. Yeah.
Okay,
awesome.
so he went to this guy's house, and this was like a friend, and he owned like a screen printing business, and Wade came to him to ask for help. Like he wanted like a plane ticket, a bus ticket, whatever. He didn't know, but he just was like, I need help, and he was just telling everybody that he did it. He was like, I killed 2 people, blah blah blah. So do you guys want to watch that video too?
I'm not sure if you got the video of it or not, but apparently he called his biological father.
I have not his biological father. Oh yeah, I do. I have his biological father too.
But I guess it's okay for me to say it real quick. But basically, he called his biological father and his biological father's new-ish wife, and kept telling them throughout the conversation that he was a killer and that he murdered 2 women and all that other stuff. And they didn't take him very seriously. In his own words, he's a good storyteller, but at some point it just got repetitive.
I think his dad believed him, but he just didn't want to like rat him out because it was his dad. And then his wife was like, "Hell no, you have to turn him in." I think that's what really happened.
He said at first that he didn't take him seriously or whatever, but after he told him a couple of times,
but I'm pretty sure he was like not gonna turn him in, and then his wife was like, "You better turn him in," and so he was like, "All right, I guess I'm turning him in." In my opinion, because his dad's
what the dude said. Huh?
His dad seems a little bit gangster.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a Florida thing. At least Lee County was. No,
Or just
I
kidding.
mean, everybody here is either rednecks or yeah. There's a lot of people that walk around talking like they're thugs and stuff here. So
With no shirts on and stuff.
yeah.
Okay. Oops.
How old was his mother at the time? How old were you when you found out you were going to be his father?
14 or 15.
How old was his mother at the time?
A year for me.
Now, were either of you in a position at that age to be able to raise him?
No, ma'am.
Was he placed up for adoption?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was he adopted by?
Candy and Steve Wilson.
And did they have any connection to you or Wade Wilson's mother?
You mean?
Like how did they?
Oh,
How were they known?
they went to church with Wade's mother's parents.
So that was how they connected and ended up raising Wade Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do they have any other children?
Yes, ma'am. 2 daughters.
And have you spoken with them on numerous occasions?
I've spoken with Candy.
And that's his adoptive mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, at some point, did you and Wade Wilson connect?
Yes, ma'am.
How old was Wade Wilson when he connected with you?
18.
And was he wanting to connect with you because you were his biological father?
Yes.
And up until that point, had you ever met him?
No, ma'am.
Did you end up attempting to have a relationship with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he seem to want to have a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you have phone calls often?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have occasions where you would see each other?
No. I went up and visited him one time in Tallahassee.
Okay. Now, did he often ask you for money?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your relationship turn into a situation where he was just asking for your help?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to turn your attention to Monday, October 7th of 2019. Did Wade Wilson get in touch with you through phone call that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was it that he told you when he called?
The first time he said he needed help. He had done something that he couldn't take back.
Did he indicate that he and his girl had gotten into an argument?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was his girl that you were aware of at the time?
I just knew her as Mila.
And did it seem that he wanted your help because of this argument?
Yes, ma'am.
When he called you, were you actually at work?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to really give your attention and time to him to try to help him at that point?
No, ma'am.
So what did you tell him when he was asking for your help?
I just told him to call me back around dinner time. I'd be done working and we'd figure it out.
And did you at some point have a conversation with your wife about him getting in touch with you wanting your help?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, during the time that he was supposed to call, about what time was he supposed to call back?
I told him around dinner time.
Now, between the time he first called that day and dinner time, did you receive a call from a detective?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that detective looking for your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when the detective was looking for your son, did you have any idea at that point of what had happened?
No, ma'am.
Did the detective want you to try to help them get in touch with your son?
She just gave me a number and said, if he calls you back, we need to talk to him.
Okay. Now, did he end up calling you later that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you in that call that evening?
The final call?
Nope, the call before the final call.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer. I just told him to call me back. I just thought it was another story,
So at this point, when he says that there were 2 people that wouldn't be with us and that he was a killer, did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Do you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
So did he then call you back a third time?
Yes, ma'am.
What time did he call you back?
It was around 10 o'clock.
I want to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked about these 2 people who were no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
So let's go now to the 10 o'clock call. Again, your wife knew about kind of what was going on during that day.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm guessing that means the video's over. So yeah.
Yeah. We lose fish.
No,
Oh.
you'll never lose me unless I'm sure you might. That was a bad bit.
Yeah, I didn't think he sounded really ghetto at all to me, but
No, I
guess y'all-
did say ghetto. I did not say ghetto.
Oh, then what was the phrase? Never mind. Moving on. But
So he
Go
asked his dad for help, and his dad called the cops, and he said he was going to get him an Uber. And was he just in some random person's house?
What had happened was there was a couple that he had happened to come upon their house, and luckily the month before that or whatever, they had gone back up north, I believe, to Ohio. They were snowbirds or whatever you call it. So luckily they weren't home at the time and didn't have to deal with him. And yes, he asked his dad or whatever to help him by ordering him an Uber, and instead his biological father called the police and sent them instead. So props to him.
Yeah, you could tell though that like he had a hard time just like accepting like that he gave up him as a kid, you know, and then like just like maybe thinking that I don't know. You never know.
Wade's actual parents said he was a great kid. He got into sports and all kinds of other stuff, and it looked like he was going to end up being a good, prominent member of society for the longest time. But once puberty kicked in or whatever, he started experiencing mental health issues and stuff, and became drawn back.
I don't think that's entirely true because he like puberty hits at like 12 or something, 13.
I'm just saying what they testified to.
I know, but I'm just saying that like obviously they're not gonna want to take like responsibility for I don't know. I feel like kids don't just turn out that way. But I guess he had like a few head injuries. It didn't really say what the head injuries were from.
Ask directly about head injuries. A lot of those people have.
Yeah, usually they have what is called frontal lobe damage or whatever, and that's the area of the brain that controls our abilities to know the difference between right and wrong.
Oh, he knows the difference between
impulse control.
Yeah.
Well, they can know it, but the ability to control you can lose. That's not an excuse that you can lose impulse control.
Yeah, most of your worst serial killers, mass murderers, and everything else usually had some sort of brain injury that was involved with that frontal lobe area. It's a common thing nowadays that serial killers or whatever ask that their brains be donated to science or whatever, because there's a lot of people trying to figure out a way to fix psychopaths, sociopaths, and all kinds of other mental disorders.
But like what was unique in this case is they actually did like look at his brain. But I don't think there was anything.
Was he already executed?
No.
Oh, no, man. We're
He
easy.
got so much love and attention and girlfriends and boyfriends.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
that
sitting
doesn't-
on
that
the
doesn't,
block of death row next to some people I know quite well. I mean, I wish Paul Klein was there as well, but he's in a loony bin, but he's basically chilling out with Daniel Conahan and everything else. The guy that killed my cousin and like 30-something other guys.
It's weird to see one of these nutcases that's younger than I am.
Actually, he's right around that age.
He's 2 years younger than I am.
Yeah, I think it's 25 to 40 or whatever is the range when serial killers and all that start going off.
early 20s to mid 20s is when bipolar and all that stuff starts to.
Yeah. It usually has a triggering event too, because it has like your.
Yep.
Yeah. What's it called when it switches on or switches off? It's like a.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's just. I mean, I'm sure
I
there's
haven't
a
taken
specific
abnormal
phrase
psych
for it,
since
but
2014.
But like in the case of Richard Allen, that's another thing I would like to know. What was his triggering event? Because the whole brother-in-law dying, it was well too early for what happened in Delphi. Something triggered him that exact moment.
Or it didn't.
The literature is scarier than you think because they really don't know. These are all correlative. It's not necessarily causative, so they don't even really know.
Yeah,
They
but
just
there's
have
usually a
patterns.
behavioral arc.
A what?
A behavioral arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what causes it? Blah, 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 blah. Good
Yeah,
luck.
everybody's got a different trigger or whatever. I always figured in the case of Delphi that there was some sort of argument or whatever that occurred between him and his wife or somebody like that. Not that I'm trying to blame her or anything like that. I'm just saying, to cause somebody to start hating women that much, that fast, requires a significant amount of trauma to trigger that. Yeah, you just don't wake up one morning and go, I'm gonna do this today. No, it's usually you are substituting the person you want to do it to with, like in Edmund Kemper, all the co-eds and everybody else he was trying to kill. He probably wouldn't have done it if he had just killed his mother right off the bat.
Yeah, he was also angry that his mom wouldn't introduce him to the co-eds that she worked with either.
Okay, so we are gonna watch another video. This is Ruiz's fiance, and like it's kind of sad, but I think it's good to watch the victim statements because they really make it like hit home.
Right.
So. And just because we didn't talk about her much, like Wade Wilson was driving and he pulled over and he asked her for directions and she was walking to work and she was being nice and came and like was gonna give him directions and he I think asked like, oh, can you show me? Like, can you get my car? And so she did, and then he like just killed her for like literally no reason. Like
That's
and
the problem with
so
this case.
he strangled her,
No.
and then he like was gonna throw her out of the car, and he noticed that she wasn't dead, and so he like ran over her like multiple times. And so with that, lovely lead up, we're going to watch. This is her fiance.
Jenny, I was this many years old when I started. I didn't start until I started hanging out with all the people in this community. I'm a full-fledged woman now.
It's okay, Dan. We all know you're a bitch, but we love you, so it's okay.
That's right. That's right.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name?
I'm Scott Hannon, the fiance of Diane Ruiz.
Mr. Hannon, I'd like to direct your attention back to the 7th of October, 2019. What were you doing that day?
I was working.
Okay. When did you leave for work?
I usually leave at 6:30 in the morning.
And I'm assuming you left from your residence at the time?
Yes.
Who did you reside with?
With Diane, her son, and her daughter.
And where did Ms. Ruiz work?
She worked at the Moose Lodge.
Where were you working that day?
I was working as a dock worker, carpenter at the time, and sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was working as a dock worker.
And you indicated that Ms. Ruiz worked at the Moose Lodge?
Yes.
And how did she get to the Moose Lodge on most days?
Most days, she had our friend who was an Uber driver. His name is James anyway. But I guess on that day he was not available.
Do you know how she got to work that day?
Yes, I know that she walked to work.
Do you know what Ms. Ruiz typically would wear to work?
Usually a moose shirt, blue jeans, and her black tennis shoes.
When you left for work that morning, was Ms. Ruiz still at the residence?
Yes, she was still in bed.
And you left for work around 6:30 in the morning, you said?
Yes.
So you didn't see her after you'd left, is that correct?
Nope.
Did you have any contact with her after you left for work that day?
A brief text message. She didn't think I gave her a kiss goodbye.
Had you?
Of course.
Direct your attention to the screen. Case number 25, is that Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Did Ms. Ruiz also carry with her a purse when she went to work?
Yeah, she always had a purse.
May I approach the witness, Judge?
You may.
So I'm going to show you some previously been marked, State Student number 23 and 24A. You recognize that?
Yeah, that's a new purse that she had just got.
And what's 24A?
All of her belongings in her purse.
And do State's Exhibit number 23 and 24A actually depict the new purse that she just gotten, and as well as the items that were contained therein?
I recognize everything.
And Judge, the State would move State's Exhibit number 23 and 24A into evidence at this
No
time.
objections. Be admitted.
Permission to publish, Judge?
You may.
Now, Mr. Hannon, you indicated that this was a relatively newer purse?
Yes.
Okay. When had she gotten it?
Maybe a week before.
Did she carry a different color type of purse before she'd gotten this one?
I don't remember exactly what color it was, but she had a different purse like almost every month.
Okay. So then we have State's 24. That contained her the wallet,
Yes, that's her wallet.
and then 24A. That's the wallet as well as the vape and whatever else was inside. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Did Miss Ruiz have any identifying marks on her body?
The only mark that I remember is the tattoo on her back.
Showing you 330D up on the screen. Is that the tattoo?
Yes, that is.
Did Miss Ruiz also carry a cell phone on her person?
Yes.
Just
It's a
describe that for us.
ZTE cell phone.
ZTE phone?
Mhm.
Okay. What was her favorite color?
Pink. Pink or purple.
I'll show you what's been previously admitted as State Student number 4G, or 5G, excuse me. Recognize that?
Yep.
What are we looking at in that photo?
That is her cell phone.
Then 5H?
Yep, that's the back of it.
Also going to show you State's Exhibit number 26. Recognize that?
Yes, I do. That's her phone number.
And lastly, sir, I'm going to also show you, do you recognize this particular item, State's 30I, that was previously admitted in evidence?
That's the ring I got her.
And what did that ring signify?
Our love for each other.
Now, in relation to the distance between your residence and the moose lodge, how far would you say that was from your residence?
About a 10-15 minute walk.
Was she known to do a 10 or 15-minute walk to work on
Occasionally.
occasion?
Yes.
Could you tell us, after the last text that you received from Ms. Ruiz on the 7th of October, did you hear anything further from anyone else as to your wife's whereabouts?
Not until around noon, when I actually get to my phone, because I keep it in the truck as I'm working. Lunchtime, I got to my phone and noticed that everybody was trying to get a hold of me.
What did you do in response to everyone trying to get a hold of you?
I immediately called one of the people that was trying to get a hold of me, and they told me the situation. Luckily, my boss was on job at the time, and I told him there's a situation, I need to go.
And did you?
We left immediately.
And where'd you go?
Right to my house.
What happened when you got to your house?
I met with Brandon there, and he told me the situation, and I don't remember exactly what we did after that, but I remember a police officer coming to the house talking to us about her purse.
And did you ultimately retain the purse there at the residence?
I believe it was there when I got there. I'm not absolutely sure because it was 5 years ago. But there was a Detective Jones who came there and, had me identify the purse.
After Detective Jones had you identify the purse, what did you do next?
We actually sat around our kitchen table and he asked me a bunch of questions. And then I guess.
Did you know you could be entitled to a 5 or 6 figure payout if you were in a traffic collision within the.
Yes, as soon as we're done, he left and said, thank you.
So in essence, you gave a statement to law enforcement.
Yes.
I have nothing further for this witness, Judge, at this time, except for the fact that the state would move a certified copy of phone records, State's Exhibit number 14 into evidence, 27 into evidence at this time.
I'm sorry, what were the number of exhibits?
27, Judge.
That was her. I was talking. I was muted. That's funny. But yeah, he just he didn't take anything from her purse. He didn't take her ring. He just she was literally helping him. It's crazy. And then
that's how a lot of killers get their prey into their grasp. And that's what Bundy would
crazy
do.
about all these crimes, because he had no reason, no legitimate. He didn't need money. He didn't need vehicle. He didn't have to kill these women at all. He did it because he just, wanted to see what it was like. And I'm pretty sure they weren't the first. I'm sure we're going to find out at some point that they really weren't the first. But he killed them just because he enjoys killing. That's what I believe.
Can't argue either.
I mean, most of your serial killers or whatnot, in my mind, we have enough evidence to start saying he's at least an alleged serial killer, but he has no actual, motive. He has none whatsoever. He didn't have to kill Milton. He could have left her sleep, took her car, and just dipped. He did not. He chose to strangle her and make sure she never woke up again.
Literally, he could have woken her up and asked her to borrow her car, and I bet you she would have let him and just take her car because, like, there's like no reason whatsoever. And then like that lady had 2 kids. She had like a son and a daughter, and like clearly her fiance loved her so much. Like you could just tell that he like still is devastated. And like, how do you ever get over something like that? You know,
You don't.
So one of the biggest things you find looking into true crime is often the motive. The motive is so out there that you can't even. It could be something like somebody cutting line in the supermarket or something. They don't care.
Well,
You never know what it is.
We have the actual use of drugs and killing. Basically, he's just a thrill killer. Just like the speed-free killers out of California and the 2 cop serial killers in Florida that were basically the same way. They get hyped up on their drugs or whatever, and they just want to, take it out on somebody, whatever problems they have. My guess is he wanted to do whatever he did to them to his fiancée, and wasn't able to, so he just found somebody to substitute him for.
okay, and then we're gonna watch like his lack thereof reaction, and his adopted parents, they wrote a letter, but they didn't even show up to read it. They had somebody else read it, and then the judge will talk to him, and you can just see his like demeanor for the whole thing.
Even when his own fate was at stake, he couldn't care less, and he had no respect for the judge, the jury, or even his own lawyer.
Well, I
Oddly
think
enough.
that's like one of the things though about like people that don't have like emotions and stuff like that. Like it's not really something that they can make. Like you can't change it. Like he can't make himself care. He probably like would like to, but like he just does it, and you could tell like his face, like he literally, it's not like he's pushing it down or anything like that. It's not there.
He just really doesn't care. Yeah. No, he has no. He just doesn't care about the whole thing. It's a waste of his time. That's all.
Does your client wish to address anything in this hearing?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Wilson nodded his head no. Judge, this is a letter from the adoptive parents of Mr. Wilson. It's been 5 years since the worst of this began. You can't possibly understand how sorry we are for the families affected by this tragedy. We cannot change the past, but we wish we could. On that fateful day 5 years ago, not only were the lives and the dreams of 2 women lost, with their families left behind in shock and grief, but another family was left shocked and grieved over a different kind of loss. It's easy to recognize the victims and their families and to feel profound sympathy for all they suffered and lost. One group that isn't often recognized as those also suffering is the family of the accused. Our journey of loss didn't happen all in one day as theirs did, but it was heartbreaking nonetheless. Wade was a joyful child, loved his parents and sisters, and was loved immensely in return. But over the teen years, and then especially in the early years of adulthood, Wade began to slip away from us, becoming withdrawn, erratic, and depressed at first. Then as addiction was added to mental illness, he became frankly paranoid and delusional, and the sense of loss became increasingly sharp. He was in the system for years trying to get help for his mental anguish and for his addiction. They put a tiny Band-Aid on it and then sent him back into the world without a diagnosis, medication, and without follow-up care. We tried to hold the pieces together, but had no idea how to find the support Wade needed to be the person he was inside. The system failed him, and that fateful day in 2019, we lost the last piece of the son we loved and all the hopes for his future. In those tragic moments, When the cancer of severe mental illness and addiction won, we lost our son, grandson, brother, nephew, and uncle. So we understand the despair, anguish, loss, and hatred for someone or something that takes away someone you love. Because despite everything, Wade is still our son, and we love him. The hopes and dreams of his life are already lost, but the human is still in there somewhere, tortured beyond what most of us can even begin to imagine. Taking his life will not bring back those two beautiful women. There is no justice on earth for that kind of loss. Taking another life only adds to the tragedy. Please see it in your heart not to kill our son and make our innocent family suffer even more. The system designed to help those who suffer and are lost failed him. That system is broken and would be only further broken if it took Wade's last breath. That broken system owes Christine, and it owes Diane, and it owes their families, and it owes our family. It owes us all the peace that it did not provide to Wade. Candy and Steve Wilson.
Thank you.
We would rest.
All right.
Judge, I would just ask that you colloquy the defendant to ensure that he doesn't want to speak at this hearing.
Oh, well, Mr. Wilson, you have an opportunity, just like during any of the other phases of, well, let me just finish real quick. Any other phases during the case, if you want to address the court, I would permit you to do that. Obviously, everything's recorded, but you would have that opportunity if you wish. No one can prevent you from addressing the court if you wish to, and no one can make you address the court if you don't want to. So it is a decision that's solely left up to you if you want to address the court or not.
Not today.
Thank
Later, when I come back, I will. Today,
Okay.
no, I won't.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The state calls Dr. Thomas Coyne.
All right, sir, raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
You can take the stand.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
Man.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please state your name for the record.
Sure. Thomas Coyne, Coyne.
Dr. Coyne, did you testify in the guilt phase of this trial regarding the autopsies that you conducted?
I did, yes.
What is your educational background?
Sure. I completed my undergraduate degree at Rutgers University, followed by medical school at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, which is also at Rutgers University. At that same time, I completed a PhD in toxicology. After medical school, I completed a residency in general pathology or anatomic pathology at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. At that same time, I also completed a fellowship or subspecialty training in neuropathology. And last, I completed a subspecialty training in forensic pathology at the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner Department. And so right now, I'm currently board certified in anatomic pathology, neuropathology, and forensic pathology.
Since we're here discussing the brain, specifically the defendant's brain in this case, would you describe what is neuropathology?
Specifically, it is the study of brain disease in all forms. And so we assess the brain from all ages, from fetal stages through old age. And we look for both normal features as well as all different types of features of disease, ultimately to find out if there was any pathology that may explain why a person died.
Now, when you were a part of this neuropathology program, could you just explain what the practical part of that program entailed?
Sure. There's several different practical components. One area is working directly with surgeons as well as neurologists in the hospital in diagnosing disease in patients who are living. And so we would review a person's most often their biopsies with a comprehensive medical team looking at a person's presentation as well as their clinical findings, radiological findings, and then add in our pathological findings. From a medical examiner perspective, we look at the actual brain in deceased persons. And so my job is to look at the brain to see if there is any underlying disease or injury that may explain why that person died.
Now, how long have you worked as a medical examiner?
Since 2014.
And as part of your duties as a medical examiner, do you conduct autopsies on a regular basis?
I do, yes.
Approximately how many autopsies have you conducted?
Close to 4,000 now.
Now, as part of your autopsies that you perform, are you equipped to examine the brain and determine whether the brain shows any signs of atrophy or any kind of injury?
Yes, specifically my neuropathology training allows me to do that.
And in every autopsy, do you examine the brain?
I do, yes. I examine both brains at autopsy. I also receive brains from offices and other universities throughout the country to examine brain for disease.
And do you testify or have you testified as an expert specifically just for the brain?
Yes.
And can you just describe that?
I couldn't tell you exactly how many times. I've probably in my career testified over 50, but less than 100, and been deposed a number of times as well. In all instances, I'm generally called upon to testify as both a forensic pathologist as well as a neuropathologist, and at times as a toxicologist. But I have been called on probably greater than 25 times specifically just to testify as a neuropathologist.
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time from home? I'm on a mission to recover $10 million.
I sure would.
I thought it was muted. Oh, that was
5 figures. We're moving on up.
Moving on up to the side.
That's right. Yeah, I think that guy looked like he was smirking. I was looking at his tattoos, but his chin was pursed like he was trying to fight a chuckle.
Right.
I mean, like when you know that the camera's like
Yeah,
like,
you can't win.
focused
either
on
way.
you and stuff. Like I don't know. Like whenever I'm nervous or like I'll laugh, and it's not because it's funny. It's just because I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that dude. I wouldn't make that excuse for him. He probably did think it was funny.
Yeah, he probably
I don't
did.
think he cared.
I'm not saying that he doesn't, but I'm just saying that his tattoos definitely do upturn, and like so you can't.
Have
really
you ever
tell.
heard of a pseudo-Bobar affect? Pseudo-Bobar affect.
No, but that's pseudo-Bobar.
It's like a neurological condition where, like, when you're sad, you'll laugh. When you need to laugh, you'll cry or get angry. Like it's misplaced emotions. Was
When we talk about the John Benet Ramsey case, and everybody talks about the interview that's done with her little brother as an adult on the Dr. Phil show, that's what I try to point
he's
out
shady.
to him. I didn't.
He's shady. I don't care who you are.
careful. You'll catch a lawsuit on that one. I've heard.
Allegedly, he's allegedly shady.
I heard from a friend.
Yeah.
But
You know
that's
who is really
basically
shady. Richard Allen. That's a shady motherfucker.
Dude, does this not make you wish like we could have just watched that trial? Like, how much would we have like just known from watching it?
I think the same amount.
I have to rely on the people I know and what they saw, and from what I heard from Teddy.
Objection, hearsay.
Well,
Yeah,
Teddy
hearsay.
only saw the prosecution, so
Well,
I don't
what
know
does
how you
what
can
does
go
Teddy
with that.
say? What does Teddy preface everything he says with?
That you should ask other people too.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have. I've spoken to Tom Repster. I've spoken to Aspen. I've spoken to Teddy, Turbo.
For prosecution. You just have to realize that you're getting like a certain like, and I'm
You can
not
say a
blaming
bias.
anything, but everybody has a bias, and they're going to see
Well,
things.
it's not
from
my
their-
fault
from
the
their
other side
viewpoint.
won't talk to me.
One person talk at a time, okay?
Thanks,
And-
Mom.
You're the Discord daddy. Thought I was in trouble today. I was like, Dad.
For what?
Well, if y'all
Dance
would let somebody
home.
else speak, we would actually do stuff, you know?
I like the organization this evening.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
tried.
kinda boring.
I only had like a
No,
day.
that was good.
I'm kind of bored, honestly.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Well,
not trying to be rude or whatever.
bye.
It's just usually
I'm
have
not
to-
trying to be rude, but you suck.
I
You
didn't say
stink
anything
like
about
poo
that.
poo.
I literally just said that I'm bored. It's not our
Yeah,
usual,
she called me
style.
daddy. That's right, Gibbo.
Everybody in the Discord has to call him daddy.
She
That
called.
is not
Oh, shut
true.
up.
That is not true.
No, Hulk
I
was
call
like,
him a cock,
Dan's
but
awake.
that's just
And I was
me.
like, uh-oh,
That's right.
Dad's home. We're going to get in trouble. Messing
Yeah.
around in the Discord when Dad's asleep.
That's because you're a bunch of wusses, man.
I wake up and have 900 notifications.
Really, everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna be nice and all that," and I'm over
Three
here. What's
people
up, you
are
cuck?
3 people are rocking back and forth, muttering to themselves.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
that's a case of, I gotta say, a diagnosis. I'm just gonna lay this out there. Preliminary diagnosis: Florida man.
Oh, Florida man, yeah.
He's got sun bleach brain.
I can't really defend myself or anything because we do some fucked up shit in Florida, man. I'll tell you that much.
HBO has a series right now called Florida Man.
We have our own little Olympics. It's called the Florida Man Games. I kid you not.
If you ever want to know how crazy Florida Man is, if anybody remembers the guy who ate the other guy's face, the drug test determined there was nothing in his system but cannabis.
Actually, they did find a bunch of unconsumed pills in his stomach, and they are not entirely sure what was in those things because at that moment in time, they couldn't test for things like fentanyl and all the new designer Chinese drugs and all that. They have no test for
China
them. So,
White.
yeah. No,
Everybody
China
thought it
White's
was
just another
bath
name
salts.
for heroin. Yeah, and they've had no bath salts are actually I forget the full name of it, but it's a drug that's called cat or whatever on the street, and it's another thing, but I can't remember that either. But they didn't have tests at the time to actually verify if what those pills were or what was in them. It's like when fentanyl first came out, the cops couldn't test for it, so they just called it a controlled substance.
I'm
Fentanyl's
bored.
been around for a long time.
And I know, but they had nothing to test for it. And believe it or not, you could do a bunch of fentanyl and go take a drug test tomorrow, and it will show nothing.
It's in our DOT specified drug tests.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I mean. They had to create a whole new test or whatever just to be able to check for it. The 9
Do you
slot
guys
panel
remember
drug
the
test.
killer that I think he killed his wife and his daughter or something? And
I
he
remember
had no
more
tattoos,
specifics.
and then he goes into trial, and at the end of trial or mid trial, he shows up with 2 teardrop tattoos on his face.
I'm like, how about you just tell the world that you're guilty, you
Yeah.
dumbass? It's like, sir, you understand that teardrop tattoos under one's eye is kind of a signifying way of letting somebody know that you killed the person. And now you have 2, but you are on trial for the murders of 2 people. What do you think that says about you, mister?
I don't know if he did it consensually or somebody forced him to get the tattoo, but it was
Oh, did
bizarre.
you hear about that one guy? He raped. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I said the R word. I apologize. But I'm not sure if he killed her or not. But well, whatever he did to this girl, I guess her cousin found him in prison, and he literally tattooed the girl's name and revenge on the dude's forehead.
Oh,
So yeah, he had to go around with a tattoo saying exactly what he did and her name and everything. But I think it's been covered up since or laser removed, which I disagree with. It's kind of like Inglourious Bastards when they were taking the swastika and the knife and carving it into their forehead. That's a good, yeah, I like
hence
that. They
where
should do
the
that more
name
often.
Bear Jew comes from. Thank
I
you for
know,
saying
that's
that.
exactly
These
why I
people
brought
don't
it
know
up.
that. Shout out to the Bear Jew.
Because he's literally said, he was like, well, I guess the bear Jew's gonna have to get you. What you talking about? And then they have this weird,
Yep.
scary music come up, and I forget his name, but then little tiny Jew guy comes out, and I know because he's the one that makes all the damn badass horror movies. So it's funny to see him acting at the time. But he comes out with that baseball bat, and I'm like, you're about to get smacked in the head.
If you haven't seen that scene, anybody in the chat, look up the Bear Jew scene from
Yes,
Glorious
it's glorious. It is glorious. That title
If you
should
like
be changed to Glorious Bastard.
That's a Tarantino movie. It's a good movie
Oh,
too.
it's freaking fabulous, man. I love that movie.
I just took it and made a pun out of it with teddy bears with the Star of David on there.
And then, well, I'm not sure if we're still continuing on with the case, but in regards to Mr. Deadpool there, the jury gave him a 9-3. See, in the state of Florida, you don't need to get all 12 jurors to recommend you for the death sentence. All you need is 8.
Yep.
And in his sake, in this case, the jury first gave him a 9 votes yes to 3 votes no to the murder of Christine Milton. And then he got a 10 yes and a 2 no for Diane Ruiz. So yeah, they basically just made sure that he got his just desserts. Of course, he'll be alive for the next 30 years, pimping up some women and stuff while in prison. So everybody's expecting
we lose Fish. Or she's jumped down.
I have no idea. I was looking at the chat. Yeah, it's just us.
What
my
is
brother.
PNW?
PNW. PNW. It sounds familiar.
I've seen that twice now. I know that.
Prisoners and not sure.
I know PMW.
But yeah, in the state of
ASAP Rocky.
Florida, it's not very hard to get somebody to be executed or whatever as far as a sentence is concerned. But as I was saying earlier or whatever, just in the case of the killer I met, he's been sitting on death row since 1997. And
Pacific Northwest. Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's been damn near 30 years, and that man's no closer to death unless you talk about natural causes.
Pacific, for fuck's sakes. I didn't have the context. I just looked down.
You didn't have the context?
Yep, the context.
Maybe if you ask him again, he'll give it to you.
I asked.
I heard he has an ear infection.
I can't hear you. It's okay. I'll figure it out.
Hell yeah. Being an asshole.
So, is there any?
being an
Did he
asshole.
allegedly murder anyone else? Do you think there's other victims or just those?
They're still looking around for other victims or whatever, but as I said when this thing first began, I don't find it a coincidence at all that Mr. Mike Williams or whatever happened to be murdered and Wade Wilson happened to be so close to the case, but yet, yeah, not involved? No, I'm sorry. He's more than likely an actual serial killer, in my opinion, at least.
Twat, did you say?
Ask me again. I think I have an ear infection. Well, I mean, I guess we might as well end this.
So what do they
thing or
call
whatever,
that? Is it a
because,
spree? Is that like, that's not a spree killer. What do they call that? Just a
I
double
wanna say
homicide?
yeah, it's just a double homicide. If you wanted to call it anything, it would probably be like a miniature mass murder. There wasn't a significant break between victims, so you can't really call it much more than that. A spree killer might actually be closer to the closest answer because a little tiny break, he went to somewhere else and found another victim. Technically, we almost had 3 victims that very day. So, yeah.
I remember that case was all over the news, the whole Deadpool thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, believe it or
That's
not,
just
even
because
Mike
of his
Williams.
name.
I remember
And
seeing,
his, his tattooed face is like kind of.
and he's a pretty boy.
Okay.
If you're pretty, you get on.
I was gonna say he definitely is a pretty boy.
You can't
Yeah.
even see his dimples anymore though, because he tattooed over them. Like, duh. Gotta keep his
Yeah, I
dimples.
made a joke. I was like, "Yeah, I guarantee Fish was watching that trial, going, but I can fix him."
I would never.
But she never
Yes, I
answered
bet he
me, but
does.
yeah,
I
no.
bet
No,
you
I
he
bet she did,
gets a
yeah.
lot of
Mhm.
fan mail.
Oh,
Michael Myers
yeah.
hit
I'm
that right
asking
on
for
the
some
head.
nudes, bro.
He's not hot. I mean, he was good. He's attractive. Like he was
Compared to
attractive.
all the other crazies in there, I bet Florida
I mean,
Man,
look at
like
what-
he's
Why did it
way
gotta be
above
about
that.
Florida?
Well, I mean, that's where he's gonna get most of
I'm
his
just
fan mail
saying.
from,
I
I
mean,
assume.
let's compare him looks-wise to like Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, he makes Ted Bundy look like a nothing. I'll tell you that much. But Ted Bundy had some
Yeah.
fucked up teeth. Yeah.
People
so.
thought Ted Bundy was hot, though. I don't know why. I tried to go
I
back
don't
and look
either,
at that.
dude.
Dahmer, too.
I don't really get it. I mean,
Other than
I
just
don't
being
know.
tall and fit. But
Well, people
Ted
thought Charles
Bundy
Manson
wasn't.
was hot too. Like
Who's
Manson got
Ramirez,
lots
too.
of ass.
Yeah, Ramirez,
Dude,
too.
you know, he used to sit there and visiting his nieces and shit. Biological nieces would show up to visit him, and dude would just jerk off while
Ah,
looking
which
at
one?
him. Yeah, you're right. Ramirez.
Oh, yuck.
That's why I kept comparing the antics of Richard Allen to Richard Ramirez, because the whole, well, we all heard
It's
the
the
song
Adam's
and everything
apple.
else. You know, Mamas, don't let your babies
Yeah.
grow up to be cowboys. You know, the actions were very significantly kind of, comparable, in my opinion. But yeah, Ramirez used to do that to his own relatives. So that's the
What are
kind
you
of
pulling
monster
up,
he was.
Fishy?
I mean, I'm just saying. She said he's not hot, but like, he's
Pretty
cute.
good looking. I'll
Before
say
he
he's
got
pretty
his
good looking.
tattooed.
All crimes aside, objectively, he's pretty good looking. Even with his
Yeah,
tattoos,
I mean,
he's good
yeah.
looking, other than he has tattoos on his face.
If he had stayed normal and all kinds of other stuff,
He's tall,
this man-
he's dark
Look at his
haired,
dimple.
he's fit, and he's handsome. What are you gonna do?
And he has dimples.
I can't
so
see the
cute.
dimples.
You can't see him.
You can't say that about Koberger or
That's why I don't smile, because I don't want to show stuff like dimples and blah 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 blah.
that song
It's
will
the-
never be the same.
It's the Adam's
Yes,
apple.
that's right.
Oh, that's funny. I
I'm
mean,
just
it
waiting
is.
for
I
the
am
day that
attracted to an
hopefully
Adam's
somebody in
apple.
there makes him
Kohlberger.
their bitch.
God,
An Adam's
Koberger's
apple?
Gary Lurch looking motherfucker.
Yeah, but the second I saw Koberger,
The Adam's apple is attractive.
if you wanted to find a guy that looks like he would murder 4 kids, I'm like, that's what
That's what I was
he
gonna
looks like in
say.
my book.
It's a very
looks just
symmetrical
like-
face and a good
Yeah.
jawline.
But
That-
yeah,
that gets-
Koberger, he looked, he sounded, everything. It's like he could have held up a sign that said, "I kill for fun," and I
He's no Patrick Westphal, I guess, Jenny.
Oh my
He
God.
uses that tail.
Shame on anyone who thinks Patrick Westfall's attractive. Maybe back in the day, I don't know, but ugh.
It's definitely not Jenny. She wouldn't.
he looks like he watches a lot of NASCAR.
Oh, NASCAR, probably. Which cares about Butt Ugly? Charles. I think we lost Charles.
no, I
not
think I got muted.
His
Oh yeah,
face is
because I started
muted.
randomly getting muted, so I was about to just leave. So
Wade Wilson.
Oh no, Jenny thinks Pat is attractive. Have you seen his hairline though? Maybe that's a track. He's tall as shit. You ladies are obsessed with that. It's a biological imperative.
Yep.
Who's dapper? Wade Wilson? Please tell me it's not Patrick Westphal.
What?
Bo said he's a dapper.
No, a doper. Doper? Dapper. I think
Oh.
doper. Dope fiends.
Well, dapper is a word too. I'm confused.
It is, but I don't think it's that word.
Well, we'll go with yes.
Yes.
All dope fiends covered by beautiful mountains.
Charles, unmute yourself, dude.
Does he think you're muting him?
No, I was muted, so I just kept it muted.
No, you didn't keep it muted. You muted it. I watched you do it.
And so the little thing at the top where it says the host has muted you is just part of my delusion, I guess.
No, you just have to take turns talking. I just did it for 1 second, so I unmuted you right away.
I'll teach
Do
you
you
how
want
to
to do it
use
now?
StreamYard, and then she can't do it to you anymore, buddy.
Yeah, Dan, I tried doing it 1,000 times when him and Adrian were fighting, and actually, it was pretty funny. Me and Paradox were laughing because like it was when he was talking, it was like ba up, ba ba. But he kept on muting me. I was like, what the fuck? How did you know how to
I'm
do
magic. It's my Oprah Winfrey magic, my Tom Cruise magic.
But no, I do know how to undo it or whatever. I was being polite.
Oh man! So what cases are you guys getting into next? I think Charles is just firing up.
No, I'm gonna start doing lives and cases every damn night because I'm weird like that.
Puck,
Apparently.
what's up?
Puck,
Well,
we love you,
he's not
buddy.
in jail. That's a plus. Hey,
Dude,
Puck.
I want to freaking listen to your song again. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here. We're gonna get off of here, guys, and let's all go to Discord and play a game.
Yeah. Totally
Yeah.
kumbaya and whatnot.
Okay, Charles, do you have anything to say?
No, I'm fine.
Charles, I'm sorry I muted you for 1 second. You can say stuff.
I apologize. He's okay.
Everybody, thank you for coming to watch and whatnot. We appreciate you.
Oh, I
please go
forgot,
check out-
guys. Check this out. I can't repost it, but make sure you subscribe to Charles. It's youtube.com/@necessaryevil with an E at the end.
It's a word called evil, you know.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe and all that to Curious Contrarian as well. I'm not even going to try to spell it, so I'm just going to have I think
Curious
there's a link to it
Contrarian on
somewhere in there
YouTube.
and all that. Yeah.
But if you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. Make
Yeah.
sure you give Don't Hate Create a thumbs up. Or I might be in the background on some of these. I won't be here all the time, but I'm trying to get her
Yeah,
up
not
to
all the
speed and
time,
get her in a good
but-
rhythm for doing this stuff. So when she has more guests and gets better at it,
Right.
she'll be able to just bust right through it. She'll have a little help pulling up comments so she can focus on talking to her guests. And thanks for bearing with her, and thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Okay.
putting up with us.
Hey,
Appreciate
watch
y'all.
this, Dan. End
What?
it.